Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon. Of course, if you have been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. You guys know the drill with that. Today's video is actually going to be on a new product released from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Magic Away Liquid Concealer. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to be inserting a demo clip in here as well while I'm talking about the product. This is going to be a first impression, so it's not really a full review on the product, but I did want to get on camera and at least try it out for you guys. If you guys are interested in seeing me try this and kind of give you my thoughts along the way and some info on the product, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so as I said, this is what the product looks like. It's called the Magic Away Liquid Concealer. It is from Charlotte Tilbury. Of course, this is a luxury brand, so it is luxury pricing. I think it was around $38 Canadian. So it is supposed to be a full coverage, long-lasting, anti-dark circle correcting concealer. So that is quite a few claims. It is made in Italy. One thing that I did notice about this concealer, and I didn't notice it before I ordered it because I probably might have changed my mind. I recently looked at the Jouer concealer in the Huda one. So Huda is the same price as this one, just in reference. As far as Canadian dollars go, it's a little bit less, of course, in the US, but I was comparing the Huda one to the Jouer one because I was interested in both, and the Jouer one had about the same amount of product as this one. The Huda one has about the same as Tarte Shape Tape, which is about 0.34 fluid ounces or 10 mils. Now this particular product only has 4 mils of product or 0.13 fluid ounces. Pretty much the same as the Jouer. That is not a lot of product at all. It's similar to the ColourPop formula, which I found I ran out of quickly. I like that concealer and it's inexpensive, so I didn't mind. But for a pricier product to only have 4 mils for concealer, that's like sort of disappointing to me. I will say the main reason I purchased this was kind of impulsive. I think I heard Mel Thompson, she used to go by Puffin's Wife on YouTube. I will link her down below. But I've seen her review the Huda one and she did mention she was kind of liking this one. So I kind of was like, maybe I want to try that one too and see which one I like better. And I didn't even look at like how much was in this, but I mean, it's still Charlotte Tilbury. I like a lot of her stuff. I think her packaging is like super bougie and I like a few of the products that I have from her. So I didn't feel too bad about purchasing it after I actually got it. I did purchase it off her website. I know on Sephora right now it's actually not available. I think there's only one deeper shade available. And let me check her shade range. I'm going to go on the Sephora app and just see how many that she has. Okay, so I'm on the Sephora app, so it looks like she has a total of 16 shades. The only shade available right now on there is 16 Dark, which is the darkest shade, and that's described as espresso for dark skin with neutral undertones. I will say there isn't a ton of deep shades at all, and to be honest, there's not a ton of actual fair shades, and I'll kind of get into that with you. When you see me actually applying this, I'll insert the clip now just so you guys can see, but when I'm applying this, you can see that this is pretty close to my skin tone or the foundation that I actually have on. I usually like to go like a shade or two lighter because I like to brighten the area. So it's kind of one disappointing thing. I mean, there was one shade on the website that was lighter than this, but it was described as it's one fair. This shade that I have is 2 fair that I'm applying, that you can see I'm applying. But the shade below that was 1 fair, and it was described as ivory for very fair skin with cool undertones. I could have went with that one, but I ended up going with 2, which was pink porcelain, also with cool undertones. But I find this to be more of like a light shade, not a fair shade. So I think if you're like Snow White, I don't know if even the 1 fair shade would work. Of course, I don't have any reference to that because I didn't purchase that one. I wish I had of, but just in reference, if you are super light, I don't know if you'll find your shade. If you're super light or super dark, you may not be able to find a shade, which kind of sucks. I hope that if the concealer gets good reviews that she'll kind of expand on that. But I mean, 16 shades isn't like the most horrific number for concealer, but it's not amazing either. Now we'll get into the packaging for you guys. As I said, it is $38 as well Canadian. I'm not sure in the American pricing, but like I said, it would be a little bit less. So let's pull out, I did use this already, so I've already seen the packaging. So this is what it looks like. It's actually quite large. Like, it's a pretty large tube. Really luxe. I really like how it looks on the outside, like the actual packaging. But the packaging, as far as applying it now, you can see the color too in this little window, which is cool. And you can see how much you've used, which is nice as well. But she used the sponge tip packaging, which... Listen, on Age Rewind, they have it and I can stand it, but it's on a drugstore concealer. I expect to have a doe foot with Charlotte Tilbury. I know that she releases other products too like this, and that's usually people's #1 complaint, so I'm not sure why she does this. I don't really get it. But I mean, it works, it's fine. You can see that I put it on. I will say it took a while to click this up, which you didn't see in the clip. And I think there's like excess product still here. So it's just gonna sit there until I use it again, which kind of grosses me out. But I mean, unfortunately that's the packaging. So I'm not a huge fan of the actual tip, the way to apply this, but I do like the actual look of the outside packaging, if that makes any sense. Now, when you twist it up, you just twist on the bottom and it comes up through the top. You have to be careful because sometimes you get too much product, sometimes you don't get enough, and even in the application clip, I felt like I didn't have enough initially, and I had to twist back up, and I actually went in with a second layer, which I didn't show on camera, but I did go in with a second layer. And I did show a clip, I'm going to put that in now as well, just of the concealer looked like after I applied it, so you could see it up close. Now, I have since done all my makeup. I set it with powder. I actually used the Thrive Cosmetics, what is this? The Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD Setting Powder. I got this recently and I really have been enjoying this. It has kind of a cool, it has like a little stopper and you just open it like that, but I really like it. It's translucent, it brightens up the under eye area, so I have been liking that. But yeah, guys, so far so good. You could see in the clip now, some people may say it creased when you're up close and personal. But I'm not old, but I am in my 30s, so I do have like little wrinkles under my eyes. No matter what concealer you use, like a concealer is not going to cover the little wrinkles that have developed under your eyes. That is not creasing, that is just the little wrinkles under your eyes. So I didn't think this creased at all. I will say if I hadn't have set this, I think it would have, because it does have that more kind of moisturizing feel to it. Like, it doesn't feel similar to the Born This Way, which is kind of more of a matte finish, or the Tarte Shape Tape that has kind of more of a matte finish. I don't feel like this looks matte. I feel like it looks pretty like a little bit more liquidy and glowy under the eyes. Once you set it, it's fine, but I do think this is one that I would personally prefer to set, but I just thought I'd let you guys know that just in case you were wondering, and you guys could kind of see what it looked like freshly applied with no powder, because I think I actually did my close-up with no powder, so you're seeing it now with powder. But yeah, so far so good. I probably will try to do a check-in near the end of the day and just tell you like how it held up and things like that. But so far so good. I think it looks pretty good, other than I wish the shades range was a little bit lighter and ran a little bit deeper, and I wish I had gotten a shade down. I am going to keep this one because it does work for me and I could always just add in a whitener, but I do kind of wish it was a little different, because on the website this looked way lighter than it actually does in person. So keep that in mind, that the swatches on the website, on Sephora and her website, aren't really super accurate, but it does work well enough that I'm going to keep it. I like it so far, but like I said, we will keep going and see what I think about this. And I will see you guys probably in a few hours. Hey guys, so I am back for my final check-in. I figured I would just wait until the end of the day to do this. So right now it is about it's 6:42, so it's about, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's almost 7 o'clock. So I've had this on since around 11:30. I know I didn't show you guys that in the first clip. I honestly never remember that. Hopefully you guys believe me, but yeah, it's been on for roughly like 7.5 hours, almost 8 hours, which I think is a good time reference. I think it's looking pretty good so far. I did take a look at it in the mirror before I popped on camera, but I do think it's looking pretty good. If you guys want, I'll zoom you in just a little bit. So I think I have you zoomed in pretty well. So just to kind of give you a reference of what each of the under eyes is looking like, and you guys can kind of look head on. So I think everything looks pretty good. I do feel like it darkened maybe like slightly, but then again, it was pretty dark when I put it on. So that's one like downside to this that I did mention. I still feel like it's a little dark for my under eye area. It kind of just matches in with my foundation, but I do feel like it might have oxidized like slightly, maybe just like a little bit. I do think it's stayed for fairly well. Nothing has moved at all underneath my under eyes. It feels comfortable. It doesn't feel like crepey, which sometimes happened to me with the Tarte Shape Tape. So I do enjoy that about it. I don't think it has crease. Like, you can kind of see under my eyes. I do have like fine wrinkles and things like that under my eyes. So obviously it may look like a crease, but that is totally different than actual creasing. There may be a slight creasing, like just down a little bit down here, but I will play with this more and play with some different powders, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys what it looked like up close. Okay, so I went ahead and zoomed you back out. So that's how the concealer is looking. Again, I think this is a nice concealer. As far as first impression wise, I really like it. Of course, I'm going to continue wearing it and I'll update you guys, or you'll hear about it probably in either a favorites video or a disappointing like products video, so we'll see kind of which way it goes, or if I just think it's kind of like an okay product. So far so good though. Like I said, the downsides for me are the amount of product in here. I'm not a huge fan of the sponge tip on the end, so I'm not a huge fan of that part of the packaging. The color range is not my most favorite, and I feel like this definitely looked more fair online than it does on me, so I wish I had have gone a shade down. Other than that though, the formula I think is good, so if you can find a shade for you, I do think you would enjoy this one. I don't find it too matte. I find it a little bit more of a luminous finish before you actually powder it, so if you're looking for something like that that's more on the kind of medium to full coverage, then I think you would like this. I do think this is more medium as well. I didn't mention that earlier, but I think it's more of a medium to buildable to full. You can definitely build this up and it doesn't look cakey, so I also like that about it. Again, it's sold out right now on Sephora, but you can purchase this on the Charlotte Tilbury website, which I purchased it off of. I think the lightest shade was actually out of stock. It may be back now though. If I do see, I will link both links down below, the Sephora link and maybe the Charlotte Tilbury one, so you can check both sites, but most of the shades were available on the Charlotte Tilbury website when I purchased this one. So that's kind of my first impressions on the concealer, so I just thought I'd pop back on quickly. If you guys did like this video, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Hit the subscribe button down below and make sure you hit the notification bell, of course, if you do want to stay up to date with all of my videos. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.